now in my case, I can take one trade and replace my entire monthly income off of one trade. That's an amazing feeling. That's an amazing tool to have. But it took work. It took time. Is this thing on? All right, welcome. Figure we switch it up a little bit, man. Give you a little different scenery. We finally got the art up. Took me a minute to get the art up, but we got the art up. So that's what's most important here. But no, let's talk about it. I want to start a segment called let's talk about it, corner talk. I don't really have a name for it. By the time you see this video, I will have an official name for it. But before we get right into that, first off, I just want to introduce myself. I go by the chef, aka Slim, aka the one who really gonna put you on game today. And today's lesson or lecture or however you want to look at it, today I want to talk about what it truly takes to change in your life and become better and something more. I came up with a name, and the name didn't sound good, so a friend of mine helped me. And at first I was gonna call it something like the butterfly effect and probably get copyrighted by Travis Scott or something like that. But then I thought Monarch, something about Monarch, and ultimately we came up with the Monarch effect. And this idea came to me from God, and I feel like it's definitely important to talk about it. The Monarch effect, in my eyes, is the 3 stages that you must go through in order to see change and overcome anything that you are currently going through in life and then come out something amazing. When you think of life in general, I want you to think of it is when you start off as a caterpillar. When you have a goal, you start off as a caterpillar, right? For me, for instance, it was trading, day trading. Started off in an MLM, realized that MLM people don't trade. Went off to actually learn how to trade. Ended up buying Swaggy C's course, Doyle Exchange, Juvier Gems, and my latest purchase was Lambo Raul's course. And just over the course of the years, I've been just consuming. And of course, I've been trading demo live funded, challenge after challenge, failing. And I was just consuming so much. And when you think of the life of a butterfly, it starts off as a caterpillar. And the caterpillar only job, okay, is to consume. So when you think of a goal, the first thing you do, because you're excited, and you love what you're seeing, you love, like for me, I just love the idea of learning a skill that can make me an unlimited amount of money. There's literally no cap on how much you can make when trading. That I just fell in love with that. I'm like, why wouldn't everybody want to learn something like this? So I started to consume. That's stage 1. That's phase 1 of the Monarch effect. So what usually happens in phase 1 with most people is that they never stop consuming. They just keep consuming, keep learning, but they never actually put into motion what needs to be put into motion in order to change. And that is kind of what leads us into phase 2. Because once you consume enough, then you got to go into like that dark place, that you got to go into your cocoon. Phase 2, after a caterpillar eats enough food, it finds a spot and it literally traps itself into this cocoon and metamorphosizes. This is the most important phase, if you ask me. And if you were to ask me what phase I feel like I'm in, I still feel like I'm in phase 2. I still feel like I'm making those deep changes, the shadow work that's required in order to be the person I want to be. So inside of this cocoon, it's not just good things, right? Of course, you got the nutrients from all the good stuff you ate, but what if you ate bad things as well? This is just going back to phase 1, the caterpillar metaphor. What if you consumed bad things as well, which is usually the case? You consume good things, you consume bad things, and then you close yourself into a cocoon, and now you have to face everything that you have brought into this cocoon. And if you were to ask me personally, and a lot of people don't really agree to this, my methodology that ultimately got me to the small success that I've had thus far, and which is going to lead me to even more success. But I literally sacrificed everything. All right, I got a promotion, sort of say, in my job. Got hired, got relocated to Arkansas of all places, and then I had a plan to use the extra income to really level up. And I say, you know what, the extra income isn't enough. I said, I need to completely change everything about me. I was out of shape. I'll put a picture up. I was out of shape. I had just got out of the military, in case I didn't tell you all that I'm a veteran. I just got out of the military. I was looking good. Got out of shape, drinking, eating fast food, not working out, just going to work, coming home. And I didn't like my body. I didn't like where my mind was at. I didn't like where, I was at financially, because even though this extra income is coming in, I didn't want to just sit on it. I wanted it to actually work for me. So I put a lot of things into motion. I cut off everybody. I started blocking people left and right, because if you didn't serve a purpose, and a lot of people think I mean this in like a really, really messed up way, but if you didn't serve me in any way, shape, or form, why are you in my life? I don't need you in my life just to be in my face. I had a lot of friends who would just ask me for money all the time, because they know financially I'm doing well. They just ask me for money. Oh, a couple of dollars here, a couple of dollars here. Oh, can you help me pay a bill? Can you help me feed my kids? And it was like, when was the last time you asked me, how's my mental health? How's my regular health? When's the last time you asked me, like, how's the gym today? You know what I'm saying? So I cut off a lot of people who didn't serve me. And a lot of people think it was like just all transactional. It's like, no, if you are a good person and you bring a smile to my face and you make me laugh, that's valuable. That's a very valuable thing to provide. And I can count on, at first it was 2 hands and a toe, but I've upped it to both hands and both feet, all my toes, to how many people can actually call me, like how many people can call my phone. So there's that. You gotta be able to sacrifice, the things in order to, get to where you want to be. And that's what happens in the cocoon. You really have to face all of the dark things. You have to face the things that are not going to help you metamorphosize and change, and then you have to get rid of it, or else you will never metamorphosize. You will never change. It's not always good. Everything isn't good. Trading is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my entire existence. I was in the military. I would take, if I had to put on the scale, boot camp, literally staying up 18 hours a day, working out all day, random times, being screamed at, cussed at, taking tests, sleep deprived for 2-3 months straight. If I had to put that on a scale right next to trading, I would still say that trading is harder. Any day I would say trading is harder on the mental. A lot of people don't realize that. You think you're gonna just hop in this and just, oh, I'm gonna click a few buttons and make some money. Wouldn't that be nice? But unfortunately, your mind is gonna get to you. Trading, in simple terms, is actually pretty simple when you really think about it. Market goes up, market goes down. See, guess which way you think it's gonna go based on patterns, based on what the current market conditions are. Just take a prediction, take a guess, and wait and see what happens. You either win or you lose. But the mental game was really tough. So I started working on my mental. My mental was weak, so I needed to work on my mental. I needed to disconnect from what's actually happened once I executed a trade, because it's literally mind-boggling how much goes through your head once you hit execute, once you hit buy or sell, and the way your heart starts to rush, the way your mind is just racing, and you're sitting there, you watching the profits go up and down, up and down, up and down. Boom, now you're in the negatives. Boom, now you're in drawdown. Boom, now it's almost about to hit your stop loss. Boom, now it's back up and you're back happy. Boom, now you're back in drawdown. And it's honestly like just a mind game. And so I started meditating. I started sitting in a sauna. At the gym, I will put the sauna on 200 degrees. And I wouldn't take my phone. I wouldn't take anything in there. I would literally just sit in there and see how long can I sit in this sauna safely, of course. But how long can I sit in the sauna without knowing how long I've been here and just sit here? How long can I sit in 200 degree wet heat and endure this heat, and not only endure this heat, but constantly up the amount of patience I have. So every time I would feel like leaving out of that sauna, every time I would feel like I couldn't take it anymore, I would force myself to stay an extra 10 seconds, an extra 20, 30, 40, an extra minute, an extra 5 minutes, and I just gradually went up and up and up. And now I sit in the 200-degree sauna like it's nothing. Like it's just a cool summer's day. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta work. You gotta work within phase 2. You gotta work in this cocoon. You gotta face the darkness. And I believe you all know what I mean by that. You have to face the darkness that is within you. Within this cocoon, you gotta face it. You have to. Or else it will carry on. Or else you will see the effects of these bad habits that you picked up on. These vices. The drugs you feel like you need. The alcohol you feel like you need. The explicit content you feel like you need. The self-pleasuring you feel like you need. You gotta get rid of this. Slowly but surely, I started getting rid of every single one of my vices. And honestly, it just felt like a weight is off on my shoulder. It feels like I feel like I'm in my ultimate aura, like I'm living life how I'm supposed to, how I should have been the entire time. But you live and you learn, and you progress. I had to deal with loss of loved ones. I had to sit here in the dark and cry and meditate and just let these tears roll off of my face. I had to realize, I had to figure out, why am I so anxious? Why am I so sad? Why am I so angry? Why am I so scared? And I literally broke myself down to the T. Because you have to face the darkness. It's not always going to be happy. Because in my world, and you don't have to be a trader regardless of what field you're in, but in my world, when you racking up those losses, when those losses are coming back to back to back, you need to be able to be mentally strong enough to face it, realize that it's not personal, that it's just the market. The market is always right, and keep moving forward. You build discipline within this cocoon, within phase 2. You build tenacity, you build integrity, you build so much once you just face it. Literally just face it. Stop running from it. If you feel like you can't go a weekend if you feel like every weekend you need to go out and party and drink, just tell yourself, all right, this weekend I'm not going out. This weekend I'm not drinking. This weekend I'm going to drink a little less. This weekend I'm not going to smoke. Or this weekend I'm going to smoke a little less. And then a little bit less. And then a little bit more. And then a little bit more. And then eventually, maybe, just maybe, you just stop. And your life becomes better. So, phase 2 is the most important phase. And that's why it was such a lengthy talk. But I think was not more important, but just as important. If you know anything about butterflies, you know that in most cases, I don't know the exact math, but you can look it up. I'm not going to, but I have heard this, so I'm going to believe it because, I heard it before, so it got to be true, right? Right? But in most cases, I'll say, I'm not going to say 100% of the time, but in most cases, if a butterfly is in its cocoon and it's taking too long to come out of the cocoon, and you cut it open for the butterfly, then the wings will not be strong enough to fly. The wings will not be strong enough to fly, and that butterfly will ultimately perish. So I want you to think about that metaphorically and, apply it to life. How often do we want the easy way out of everything. How often do we look for shortcuts? How often are we Google quick way to do this, how fast way to do this? Because we live in a world that where everything is just instant. Everything is instant. You can order something from the other side of the country and get it by the next day on your doorstep. We live in a instant world now, so it's really hard to be patient. But how often are we looking for that easy way out? I can let you know right now that there is no easy way. There is no easy way, because if you don't build the character blocks, if you don't sit in that cocoon and deal with the things you need to deal with, if you skip, if you go from phase 1 and skip and try to go straight to phase 3, you're not gonna make it. Think about lottery winners. Think about people who made money off of like a Bitcoin pump and dump or some random penny stock pump and dump. Like, I want you to really look back and like wonder, like, where are they right now? Maybe they did really well with their earnings and they just disappeared off the face of the earth. But in most cases, these people didn't build the financial blocks, the mental blocks. They didn't, let's just say, we don't even gonna say blocks, let's say bricks. They didn't build the financial bricks, the mental bricks, the emotional bricks. They didn't have all of their bricks in place. So once the house was built, the foundation was messed up. They took the easy way out and their wings weren't strong enough for them to fly. So it led to their demise. So I would say never ever look for anyone to cut you out of this cocoon. Nobody is going to do it for you other than yourself. Nobody. No one is going to do it for you. You have to do it for you. No matter what. Even if somebody comes and like, hey, roll with me, I can help you get to this and that. There's still going to be work that you need to do within that person can't help you with. You can have a mentor. You can have good friends. You can have, good co-workers, good associates, good peers. But at the end of the day, you still are going to have to go in that cocoon and do the work, or else it will show. It will show. These are the 3 stages, the 3 phases of the Monarch effect. We're all monarchs. Everybody's a monarch. And you can take this metaphor and put it with any other creature you want. It just makes more sense with a butterfly. Like phase 1, consume. Phase 2, action, cocoon. Deal with the dark. Face the dark. Heal from the dark. And get stronger from the dark. Phase 3, break out of that cocoon. Stronger than ever before, something completely different than what you started as, and soar. Literally just soar, just fly, just go with the wind, just be free, because the work has been done. And now you're there. Now you're seeing $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $50,000 a month. Now in my case, I can take one trade and replace my entire monthly income off of one trade. That's an amazing feeling. That's an amazing tool to have. But it took work. It took time. That's all I got, guys. I know this is quite the yap session. But I love yapping, man, because trading, even if you're here and you're not a trader and you're just like in the entrepreneurial realm of things, but I just know trading is such a mind game. It's more mind game than anything. You can know the technicals, you can know the fundamentals. Anybody can draw a trend line. Anybody can throw up a Fibonacci retracement tool. Like, everybody is not. It doesn't take long. What does take long is the mental development. So get that down. Do the dirty work. Do the hard work. And come out stronger than ever before. That's all I got. It's been your boy, the chef. And I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.